Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Heroes Never Die, the Italian Peplum phenomenon. I can never say those words, so anyway, I'm just going to say 1950 to 1967 by Barry Atkinson. This is an amazing book, 340 odd pages. Now this is the black and white version, slightly cheaper obviously than the colour version, which is obviously readily available. And there is all the details there for this one. And this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is obviously a complete labour of love, along with a labour of obviously Hercules as well. It covers a whole range of different things. Obviously, I've just mentioned Labours of Hercules, but it also covers about 300, 400, loads and loads and loads of films. References a lot. All kinds of different things. The various things like Robin Hood even gets into it. Pirates get into it. Whole range of different things. Lots and lots of posters. Obviously, pictures as well from all. Now, many of these films are completely, utterly impossible to find. So you're just going to sort of look and think, I would love to see that film. I'd love to see that film. Now, some of these films I have seen over the years. I remember seeing some of these listed anyway at the cinema. I never actually got to see them. Just obviously was too young to go and see. So I can't imagine my parents would say, oh, yes, you can pop down and see some film like that back in 1965 or 66. Still, Hercules, and you can see there the details about it. Midnight Marquee Press. And let's just go through. You've got some dedications and quotes at the front, and then you've got the table of contents. Some of these films are very, very obscure, but I did have for quite a period lots of access to Italian films, etc. All because I had German, Greek and Italian on my satellite. Now, that was a long time ago. I think it all started to move to HD and all sort of went behind, sort of you couldn't actually access them anymore. But at one time, you could actually see a lot of great films, really poor quality films as well. They were pretty awful. The colours were terrible, pictures were really true. But I actually enjoyed watching quite a few of these sort of films. But many of them you can find them on box sets of various DVDs. And I remember seeing some, certainly in Spain, you could sort of pick them up in various Cortes Inglés. They had loads of these sort of boxes, which I bought all of them, but at the same time, just sort of pick up this and that. And also they had quite a lot on like covers. You get all the magazines over in Spain and probably Italy as well, where you get the sort of a DVD on the cover, and you know, be some pretty obscure film, mainly some horrible Hollywood film that probably went straight to DVD. But also occasionally they would have these sort of films as well. Now they're still making these films, as it obviously shows there, and I have got a few. I did watch one a couple of weeks ago, Hercules one, that I thoroughly enjoyed. Dwayne Johnson was complete rubbish, but brilliant. Actually, I enjoyed another one of Dwayne Johnson last night, the Skyscraper one, which was completely hokum, but thoroughly enjoyable Blu-ray. Unfortunately, I think many of these probably have never turned up on Blu-ray. And as it mentions in here, you can get them. You can find them all sort of places, probably from like Greek DVDs, if you look on various, or German. Germany, for some weird reason, has a lot of things, but Greek ones definitely, but they're often really weird. So the writing, you can remember. Oh. But anyway, often in Greek, I have seen that sort of thing, as you think, got Quo Vadis, of course. But there's some great films you think, wow, I'd love to see it. Why, oh why, doesn't, and it's also got pirates as well. It's got pirates, it's got loads of other ones. I obviously showed you the contents, but I should have actually mentioned all the various things, swashbucklers. You've got here Samson, Goliath, I can't even say some of the words there. Obviously Hercules, ancient Greece, Rome, ancient Rome. I love ancient Rome. So ancient Rome there's a great channel that I thoroughly enjoy watching everything about Rome. And also you've got here the Musketeers. I was going to say Musketeers, but the Musketeers even. Zorro, it wasn't only the Italians and the spirit lives on. Now, the only thing, slight criticism of this book, I've got the index of film titles, and I'm just going to quickly go back to the back. There is a list of all the films. You can see all the films there, but it does it by date, which is fine, but it's not very much of a use as an index because where is it in the book? You know, it actually in here, you just go, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Robin and the Rebel, Robin Hood and the Rebel. Now, obviously, you probably go to section on Robin Hood. But some of them sort of like the Revolt of the Praetorians. You might go to ancient Rome, I guess, and so on and so on. But the Revenge of Ursus could be covered in anything for all I know. Who knows? Could be Greek, could be Roman. And then, of course, where is it in the book? Maybe there is an index of something that explains it. But there you got, of course, you've got the Robin Hood. Now, some of these films may be sort of channeled that you might find them on. There's Legend Extra. Maybe they sort of things that turn up on there. I don't know. There's been some great films on that Legend Extra channel. I've been recording quite a few of them. They're mainly a Hammer and those sort of things. But there's some really old or, other films from the UK 1960s. But maybe some sort of Italian ones would be nice to see on there. And also Talking Pictures. Why, oh why can't Talking Pictures, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning? Maybe obviously they need to get the rights, of course. Find copies of it, because that's the problem. A lot of these were done by very small sort of companies that makes you wonder if actually the recordings are, the actual film is still available. Maybe it's sort of like tucked away in some vault somewhere, or just plain disappeared. Not everything survives, because these were 1960s, 1950s. You can see there the Sign of Zorro. Some, of course, these films are more Guy Williams, etc. I'm quite certain are quite easily defined, relatively anyway. But you've got some that Sword's Edge. And also, of course, the titles all over the place. They're like 55 different titles for some of these films. And some make no sense at all. You think, why did they call it that when it doesn't seem to make... You can see there, it actually puts the titles. So and you can see the companies there. I mean, Panaria Films. Maybe Panaria Films is a big company. I do not know. Black and white, 96, and it got bracket 79. So I guess there was some slight variation. They're very funny. Really funny. I must admit, I had to chuckle quite a few times. All the comments. Nero, Tyrant, obviously, of Tyrant de Rome. And you got there, obviously, Spanish lobby cards as well. I love those lobby cards. Lobby cards are great. And you've also got like Cyclops, 2 Nights with Cleopatra. Only 2 Nights with Cleopatra? Anyway, 19-year-old starlet Sophie Loren. I wonder what happened to Sophie Loren. However, you got many other than that of Alberto Sordi. The bawdiest, craziest comedy romp in history. That's recommended it straight away to me. But a lot of these were, quite often you see them, they were UK. They were sort of tucked away with other films. I don't know if they sort of continued on into the 70s. That's probably more likely time I would have seen them. Don't recall seeing too many of these sort of things. But they did turn up, and I have seen lots. Some were awful. The trouble was they're very blurry. You'd watch them on TV, or it would be sort of really... sort of unsaturated, really no colour whatsoever. It was like, for something set in the sunlight and blazing, that's the thing that sells it to me. And you've got something that's completely desaturated, and it's really odd. And you've got there, what's that one? The Captain of Fire. Fire Captain, I don't know. But still, Captain something, Foucault something. Anyway. Quite often there's lots of actors and actresses that I have never heard of, but it does give a lot of detail. And it also gives a lot of detail to biographies and things about all the various actresses and actors as well, what happened to them afterwards, sort of like their career, sort of they stopped after the film or whatever, or the director and all those sort of things. But they're just great. This book is just full of so much information. I absolutely love these sort of books. If only someone brought out a Galileo one like this, real huge, massive tome of all the films. I've been 7 to heaven on that one. I mean, I know there are some of those sort of books, and I just think, just great. But still, this one, another one. Oh, there's Ursus. So obviously something connected. What's that connected with then? Goliath sort of thing? Obviously it's a sort of Goliath kind of film. I mean, that's the trouble with a lot of these things. You've got Ursus, the rebel gladiator. You've got another, Ultimates, Ursus in the Valley of the Lions. Maybe that did turn up on UK TV or somewhere along the line. And maybe some didn't, never turned up in the UK. But I think they're great. This one, the son of Cleopatra. Didn't think he survived particularly. I would have thought Augustus would have long got rid of him. But anyway, maybe he obviously did get away, and they obviously had a story. Son of Cleopatra. Great stuff. The son of Spartacus. Even probably less likely, I suspect, because Spartacus, well, who knows what happened to Spartacus? Of course, there was all thinking, maybe his son obviously survived as well. I loved Spartacus. That is one of the best. Love that series. That was, and obviously the films and all those sort of things. But I loved the recent ones. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, the violence in that, I guess, was a bit like reading some of the descriptions here. They were pretty violent, it sounded like, from the thing. But the Spartacus one was definitely very violent. Just brilliant series. And you got there Damascus obviously there, and so on. It's just full of poster after poster after poster of some of these great films. And I love the pirate ones. I just think I do enjoy quite a good pirate film. Actually, Black Sails. That was one. I don't know if it mentions Black Sails in here, but Black Sails was great. That's just a classic series. Anyway, you got here another one, The Mystery of the Evil Island. That sounds great, doesn't it? It sells it to you. The Evil Island. Not just a normal island, but Evil Island. Marco Polo. Not so keen on Marco Polo ones, to be honest. But still, I was actually looking for the Blu-rays, and there's hardly any Blu-rays, but DVDs you can, and also VHS covers. And I expect that's not the sort of thing that's going to turn up in my local charity shop, is it? Anytime soon on these sort of films. And you got here Lion of St. Mark's. Obviously, I assume that's a Venetian drama, I suspect. Maybe not. But obviously, it's Liber Films, Total Scope, Eastman Colour, 106. And again, puts brackets 90. I can't with it. There is obviously something, they obviously just cut it, I suppose. A lot of these were done by the censors, of course. They cut all this. Why? I do not know, but they did. They always seem to worry about the fact that... And yet, sometimes you've got other films that go away with stuff and you're thinking, why is it cut in one film? And in this film's, it's ridiculous sometimes. The Conquest of the Orient as well. Obviously, we Conquerors and the Vikings mixed in. I wonder if the Normans got a thing, because Vikings turned into the Normans. You got Zorro, and you got the Crimson Blade. Now, that sounds familiar. Oh, Lionel Jeffries. Wow, Oliver Reed. I haven't got that on Blu-ray. Jack Hedley, great actor. I love Jack Hedley, so that's that one. That's obviously there. What one's the British? Oh, it's a Hammer film. Hammer film. Siege of the Saxons. That's been on, I'm quite certain, recently. But still. Sword of Ali Baba. Colour. Peter Mann. No idea. Oh, East of Sudan. You live every terror known to man when you dare to cross the East of Sudan. That sounds like good. Viking Queen. Well, I'm certain that's been on. And then you of course got into the more recent ones. I've got quite a few of these. Not all of them. Solomon Kane. I love that one. I'm always a R.E. Howard fan. Just brilliant. Ironclad. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I gave it to my mate. He said it was terrible. Maybe I was just enjoying it. That's weird. There was two. Ironclad and Ironclad Battle for Blood. Was there a second one? I didn't know about the second one. That's weird. 2014. Must have been. I saw the first one. I didn't think that film was... That's old. Anyway, Season of the Witch. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was really good. Oh, they put that into that. I suppose it is sort of that sort of film, isn't it? And, of course, Vikingdom. Never heard of that one. Valhalla. Can't even say it right. The Eagle. I did enjoy that one. Henry of Navarre, probably. And you got Black Death. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I do watch some odd films, I have to say. But still, you've got a whole long list of other ones. Agora, probably one of my favourite films of all time. Brilliant film. Unfortunately, I've only got it on DVD. I haven't got it on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray was a lot more expensive, so I thought, nah, not going to get that. But I think there's a lot of other films they could have probably put into the list there. But I've got quite a few sort of ones. And I love the BBC have done, like, I love anything, Caesars and things, those sort of things. I, Claudius, of course, put that in there as well. Not that was recent, that was 70s. And, of course, source references, author, biography back. Wow. This, if you're a fan of films, I think this is just, you must get this book. If you're a fan, obviously, of this sort of genre or phenomenon, I can't even say that word particularly well. I think this is obviously a must book to get. And obviously, probably, if you're really a big fan, get the colour one. I went for the, I didn't realise that, to be honest. I saw a copy, I should have guessed, because I saw one priced at one price. I thought, yeah, okay. Why is that more expensive? And I should have guessed that one. I don't think it said, actually made it very clear that it was colour and this one was the black and white one. Because I would have still gone with the black and white one. I'm happy with the black and white. It doesn't worry me that it's not in glorious colour, because this is a good old Amazon. There you can see, printed in Great Britain by... I am not a fan of these Amazon books. You can see the problem with Amazon books. I dread to think what they'll be like in 20 years' time. You know, because it's pretty... You can see the problem. Actually, I quite like to buy them in hardback. At least to the degree they're not going to bend like this. But I've got so many Amazon books where they... And some that are like this, really truly warped. Still, always be aware of that when you get... But I think this is just great to get. Absolutely brilliant. And if they bring out another copy at some time with obviously some updated information, I'm certain that they probably could fill another 100 or 200 pages with even more information about these films. I would definitely be picking the next issue of this. I've got one on order, which I will probably be reviewing next few days. I'm looking forward to, is Euro Spy. That's another one of these sort of books. I've got one on Italian science fiction, and I have just move those out of the way and just bring that over there. This one, Italian science fiction style. So that one's by Matt Blake. Absolutely brilliant book as well. I love these sort of books. And unfortunately full of films, again, that probably I will never ever see, because there's only so many you can access. This is great. Totally recommended.